What is going on, everybody? Man, Micah's back with another video. Back here to discuss One UI 5 beta number 2 for the Galaxy S22 Ultra, rocking the T-Mobile carrier variant. Now, of course, the beta is fairly available for everyone, but my experiences with the T-Mobile version on the S22 Ultra is what we're going to primarily discuss. And I've seen, for the most part, people having similar issues. Of course, I haven't had all the issues I've seen through the discussion threads and questions and whatnot in the beta community, but for the most part, some issues are global to the entire beta. Of course, one feature that's still missing that I have not seen is the RAM Plus, being able to actually disable it completely or turn it off. Of course, you have a range of 2 gigs to like 8 or 10 gigs, but with One UI 5, you're actually supposed to be able to turn it off so it doesn't take any storage. Of course, with RAM Plus, it's virtual RAM. It's actually slower than the physical RAM that the phone comes with, and we come with enough RAM in the phone to not even need virtual RAM. Virtual RAM is probably something a little bit more useful for maybe budget phones or mid-range phones. The other feature that has been moved has actually not quite been moved to its specific location within Bixby routines. It's kind of reverted back to the alarm clock, and that is bedtime mode. So if we want, we can get into that right now. So let's go ahead and do that countdown. 3, 2, 1, we're up and running. So if we swipe up, go to alarm clock here, we see that I have my alarm clock set. You still see sleep details right here. If you click on that one, you will see bedtime mode is still right there. You know, you can have a reminder notification, and of course select your days, and then use smart things to sync or combine your smart devices with your bedtime mode. Supposedly, maybe they're not going to move it to Bixby routines anymore, but they have actually revitalized Bixby routines in terms of what it looks like. So if we swipe up, go to our Samsung folder, and there's something I'm gonna show you guys here too after this. Bixby routines has modes now where you can actually do a sleep mode. So if you click on it, of course, avoid distractions from your phone and get better sleep. Set up a wake up alarm, turn on do not disturb, turn on dark mode or grayscale, so on and so forth. But it's still relatively more so routine based, which means automatic routines or routines that you would want to use for sleep mode. So it would probably give you some type of template to work from, but that's not necessarily the bedtime mode that most people were looking for when checking out Bixby routines. Most people actually want to stay in the alarm clock because it actually seems like the best place for it to be. And of course, looking at the routines here, they have made some adjustments to it with showing you the running routines up at the top instead of just kind of highlighting them down in the all section. So that, and then as you guys just saw there, that animation is a little wonky now in terms of leaving apps. Now leaving widgets, it's relatively fine. Like, say for instance, and this is a side note, with the Google widget, you see it looks actually like it's a little thicker and it doesn't say like Google search or something like that within the blank gray space. Now if I were to try to move it, you see how it just adjusted size. It just went from thick to thin. I hope that they thicken it. I actually wanted to suck up more space within that widget panel. I think the padding is a little too much. I would like for some of these widgets to take up a little bit more space, but yeah, I forgot what I was talking about before that. But oh, clicking on the widget and then swiping back out, you see it kind of still a little wonky. Some of it may be due to the fact that I'm recording, but for the most part, that has been kind of happening. They need to be smoothened out. I think they will within, of course, by final release, but the animations for leaving apps has reverted back to a little bit of jittery wonkiness. So hopefully they'll work on that. That's something that some people had issues with beta 1. I didn't quite notice it like that, but I am noticing it here in beta 2. Now, again, with the widgets, you see my calendar widget right here. It has a new color, if you will, in the background. And I believe that's because color palette now applies even more to the entirety of the phone. Is more deeply embedded into widgets and apps, fonts, so on and so forth. So take for instance, if we swipe over, See a little subtle bounce, of course, get a little vibration. And again, if you guys haven't noticed it yet, again, we're gonna talk about it. If we go to my files folder, and let's say I wanna choose a new wallpaper, let's go something a little darker, maybe. We're gonna choose something as simple as, how about this? We're gonna go with this blue right here, looks good. Set as wallpaper, home screen, hit that. And then we're gonna see if the color will change our calendar widget. So if we look here, it's a good place to kind of look and see. I will try the more subdued look at some point, but I do want to see. That's a lot of green for a widget that barely has any green in it though. Now in this case, I only have 4 colors to choose from. It does not really stay consistent with how many colors you get to choose from. Sometimes it's just these 4, sometimes you'll get 8, sometimes you'll get 10 to 12. So it will range. And maybe that's just because of the wallpaper and how many colors or like there are that the system can, you know, pull from the wallpaper. So for me, I think I'm gonna go with the more blue. Oh, you know what? Let's go with the purple. With the hints of purple, you see the apply button is gonna probably change as well. If we swipe down and then go back to the home screen, let it freak for, okay. So as you guys see, it didn't actually quite change the color within the calendar widget, and I would have been fine either way, whether or not it did or didn't. I like the fact that there is more color there and it's not just grayed out with black or anything. There's actual color there. So maybe if I was to click the screen off and click it back on, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to do that. This is my blank space to try out widgets and stuff like that. And to show you one last thing with widgets, oh well, actually this is my calendar widget, and this has been a problem with beta 2 now, is that the calendar widget disappears. So as you see, if I press and hold, it shows up. If I click settings, you see it pops up there. When I swipe back, it's gone. Now if I was to remove it and add a new calendar widget, it would actually show up. Now this is my actual experimental page that I have, and the widget you see here is smart suggestions. What this does is basically based off the apps you use, your most recent apps that you've used, apps that you typically use maybe around that time frame, the AI, machine learning and whatnot will actually suggest to you apps that you would use or that you use that you may want to click on. Now this is resizable, so if I click on it, you can resize it up, but you cannot resize it down. So you can resize it that way, and you can resize it one number over in terms of the, that'd be row. So if you guys want to play around, experiment with that, be my guest. Now one of the things that I was going to highlight is app icons. Yes, Samsung has changed the icons in beta 2. Doesn't mean that they will forever change. I like most of them. I'm glad I'm not using one of them. And so as you guys saw when I swiped over with my edge panel, you see the folders widget is one of the most immediate changes. The calendar widget is also one of the most immediate changes. Actually feels a little more Apple-esque, if you will. The settings icon is darker now and almost looks like it has a little more blue hue to it and not just gray. The Samsung Wallet app looks like it was adjusted to some degree as well. And if we swipe and go back to the Samsung folder, the AR app has been darkened. The contact icon is a new color of orange, and the actual contact icon or person icon within the icon has been adjusted as well. The device care icon right there at the bottom left has also changed its hue of blue. The digital well-being more or less has changed. The search finder at the top left has changed as well, updated. The game launcher and the gallery app at the very bottom of these in this folder. Now the gallery app has inverted itself, so now it's white with a red flower as opposed to being red with a white flower. The game launcher icon has darkened as well and added more colors to the actual letters, if you will, O and X. You know, if whatever floats your boat there. As I said, the folder icon has changed. The phone icon has also changed. It's now not just green, it's again a new hue of green, if you will, teal. And then the one icon I'm glad I'm not using anymore is Samsung Messages icon has changed. It looks much more goofy to me. I'm glad I'm using Google Messages where it looks more refined. Of course, I liked the previous Samsung Messages icon. That just feels a little too much for me. I'm good on that one. I'm good. The Samsung members icon has also changed. It's darker and the M has been minimized a little bit to properly fit within that icon, so that looks good. It feels like Samsung Notes has darkened a little bit. Don't hold me to it. It does feel like it's no longer shadowy as well. And that is pretty much it in terms of the icons that I was able to pull from Samsung. They've done some icon changes as well. Now, also what I noticed with beta 1 versus beta 2. Beta 1, I was having network connectivity issues, even though I had 5G, 4G LTE services available, but it seemed like it was doing a lot more data roaming than actually being connected to the internet, if you will. With beta 2, it feels like 5G has been boosted because it's snappy, and even in areas where I wasn't really having great connection, I was having way better connection in those areas out in the boonies where I would deliver packages. So I'm a little surprised with that. Hopefully there's a trend going forward, and maybe a little more look into what 5G really is supposed to be, because I'm talking about real snappy service in terms of network connectivity. So that's something I've noticed. It's been a little bit more smooth overall outside of the animations, and the fingerprint sensor is very, very fast after beta 2. So that's some things that I've noticed that I've appreciated. If we want to go to the Samsung Members app to see some of the other things that have changed, features that have changed, if I swipe back, go to that, and then I go up here to beta notices, click on that. It's going to highlight new features, smart suggestions, which I showed you guys. Maintenance mode. The maintenance mode protects personal information while others use my smartphone, such as mobile phone repair. In maintenance mode, you cannot access personal data and photos, messages, accounts, and only apps installed by default. That's an interesting one. And is that activated by the repairers or the service you use to repair the phone, or do you activate that mode upon turning your phone in for service? And I wonder, has there been any issues with people or the companies, plural, singular, editing people or repairing people's phones and actually going through their phones? Like, has that actually been a privacy issue? That's kind of interesting. So it's interesting that they have that there. It kind of reminds me of like the pinned app mode, where you can pin an app and then give it to, you know, a young kid, like a child or something, or somebody else if they needed to use something. And unless they knew how to operate to get out of the pinned app, only you knew how to really get out of the pinned app. So it kind of reminds me of that mode. And then privacy detection. The share panel will let you know when you attempt to share photos that contain sensitive information, such as credit cards, ID cards, or passports, so you can reconsider whether you really want to share them. That's interesting. That's a nice touch there. It just gives you a rethink this through real quick. Do you want to send this to oh buddy? Yes or no? Okay. All right. We just wanted to warn you. So I like that. They say bugs that have been fixed, added Bixby routine lifestyle mode, and that's the mode I showed you guys. Fixed the issue that occurs sometimes on the home screen. That issue may have referred to the folders. So in the Home Up Good Lock module app, you can change your folder style. And I don't know if that's what was breaking the folders. It could have been regardless, because I don't think everybody was using Home Up for to change their folder style and folder colors. So I think it was folders period. But if you open the folder on your home screen and you tried to tap out of it to, you know, swipe on your home screen, it wouldn't let you. You would have to actually swipe back or use the back button to come out of the folder and then be able to regain touch interaction on the phone. So I think that's the issue that they're referring to that was fixed. Fixed the issue that cannot be automatically rotated sometimes. I experienced that towards the very end of beta 1, where I'm in YouTube and I would try to switch my phone, and it would not it would be very slow to rotation. And another side note, I noticed that in the very beginning of the beta 1 software trials, if you will, it was going very well, and then it seemed like this past week it seemed like it was just degrading. I've never experienced software that had a degradation period. Like, it literally just seemed like it was getting worse every day. Like, new problems were showing up right before they updated us with the beta 2. So I wanted to share that as well. Hopefully that won't happen again, but that was interesting. Let's see what else we got here. Modified S Pen's breakdown. Never had no issues there. Fix the issue that does not operate copying, forwarding in the Samsung Messages app. I never experienced that. Fix the issue for shared links sometimes. Never had that issue. Fix the issue that appears to be empty on the quick panel notification window. Never experienced that. Who uses shared links, by the way? Let me know down in the comment section below. What this reminded me of, though, in terms of like the notification window, if we swipe down, the notification settings button and the clear button at the bottom seems to have shrunk. They have definitely gotten smaller. And if you see your quick buttons at the top, I think they may have allowed another app up there, but when you swipe down to access it, it's still 4x3. So I don't know if they're going to change that. They haven't given us an option to do so. So, you know, keep that in mind there as well. I've seen some people say that the font seems like it changes sizes intermittently. And as you guys just experienced early in this video, you guys got to visually see the Google widget actually change in size from thick to thin. So hopefully it stays in the thick area. Much like I would like Samsung to make more use of the space with their weather widgets. I'm glad that you can remove the refresh icon by making it refresh on the go with the setting that I showed you in my first video on the beta 1. Still accessible, by the way, in the app. But I would like the font or the temp font to be bigger, or the icon, the weather icon, which also moves, which is nice, an animated icon, to also be enlarged, so that way you don't have all this empty space, and or add the high and low for the day within that widget as well to add more information, because you really don't get to see that unless you use the quick panel or the edge panel. If I swipe to my weather, it shows you high and low there and what it feels like outside, the humidity and the UV index. And as you guys see here on the homepage, I'm using the dynamic weather widget app, but that's all you get. All that space there, they can add that other information. They have plenty of space, and yet they don't do it. Even with the basic weather app and not the dynamic one, it's relatively the same thing. And when you try to use the weather widget that shows you like the forecast of the next 3 days, it still doesn't give you the temp, just gives you an icon of what the day may seem to be. Cloudy, sunny, rainy. Show us, give us the temp. You got so much space right there. Just show it, give it to us. So to go back to what has been fixed. Fix the issue that cannot be unlocked by lock screen patterns. Never experienced that. Fix the issue that cut off during screen capture. Never experienced that. Fix the issue that does not operate power saving mode. Never experienced that. Fix the issue that an app media player on the lock screen is not displayed. Never noticed that. Adjustment of touch sensitivity. That also could play with what I said earlier about the folder interaction. Fix the problems related to Bixby routine. I didn't notice that, even though I have them activated, but I also never noticed any problems with it. So good to see that they did fix some things. A known issue is basically that Samsung Wallet still isn't quite working correctly. It doesn't say Google Wallet, so I don't know if Google Wallet also isn't working correctly still, but it's not, because I actually tried to make use of it. Now, maybe I could have used it, but when I initially opened it up, it did give me a message saying it's not compatible with my current software version. So keep that in mind for those using the Google Wallet. There may be an error in the Samsung Wallet digital key operation. If an error occurs, please delete the digital key and re-register it. When updating Galaxy Watch software, when copying a new version from phone to watch, there is a problem that it cannot be copied if Wi-Fi is turned off at this time. Turning on Wi-Fi can solve the problem. And when an error occurs, please update to the latest version of Samsung Members application from the Galaxy Store. This helps resolve issues with partial missing logs when uploading error reports. Thank you, USA Beta team. So I'm waiting on the Galaxy Watch 4 updates because they're adding the Galaxy Watch 5 watch faces to the Galaxy Watch 4 series, which is nice. Haven't seen that yet, and I haven't experienced the rest of those issues, thankfully, and hopefully other people can, you know, find their workarounds or use the workaround suggested here. And I did notice that when beta 2 dropped, they did update Samsung Members app, so I wonder if that's an indication going forward that when you see the Members app update, most likely another beta version is out. So that is all that I've been able to see and find so far. That's why I wanted to give it like 24 hours to 48 hours of use. Really closer to like 30, No, about 30 to 40 hours of use, because I updated around 11 o'clock in the morning yesterday, and then I'm recording this the next day, and I might have this uploaded tonight. We'll see. But that's all the stuff that I found so far within the beta. Swiping over, still fine in terms of the Google Discovery feed. It's really just, and the Samsung Internet icon has also changed. So let me make sure I didn't forget to share that with you guys as well. If you guys have experienced or noticed anything, let me know down in the comment section below. Let us know actually down in the comment section below your experience with the beta software so far. More good than bad, neutral, more bad than good, issues I haven't found or that you didn't hear me say in the video. Let me know down in the comment section below. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure to ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so we know like videos, so we sit back, chillax, see what's cracking. And make sure when you guys watch the video, ignite the like button and leave a comment that lets YouTube know that you guys like the videos. We appreciate it. But your man Micah signing out. Until the next video. Wait for